Go! Go! Just run! Help us! Don't stop!
I am the storm, the beginning and the end of all things. Your resistance is meaningless.
We gather here today not as separate nations, but as one species with a shared destiny.
Before I tell you her name, I need to ask you something. What would you do if refusing a single thing meant you couldn't feed your child, couldn't pay your rent, couldn't buy bread, couldn't survive? What if that one refusal cost you everything the world had to offer? Most people say they would never bow. Most people say their faith is unshakable. But most people have never been tested the way Grace Eleanor Mitchell was tested. She stood in a line once, a government line. Every person ahead of her rolled up their sleeve and walked away with access to the whole world, food, housing, safety, everything. When it was her turn, she looked at the mark. She looked at her 7-year-old daughter standing beside her holding her hand, and she stepped out of the line. She died 3 years later, hungry, cold, but unbroken. Today she stands before God, and heaven is watching to see what God says to a woman who lost everything rather than gain the world. Stay with me, because what happens next will change how you see your faith forever. Her name is Grace, 41 years old when she passed, a believer for 30 years, a mother, a woman who read Revelation 13 and took every word seriously. When the system came, she understood what it was. She didn't debate it. She didn't compromise. She simply refused. But refusing had a price. She lost her job in the first week, lost her apartment in the second, spent the final years of her life moving from shelter to shelter with her daughter, Lily, finding believers who would share what little they had. She watched Lily go to sleep hungry more nights than she could count. She prayed over that child every single night. She never stopped believing, not once, not even at the very end when her body gave out and Lily sat beside her crying, asking why God didn't just make it easier. Grace whispered back, "He did make it easier. He gave us each other. He gave us His word. That's enough." Those were her last words. Now she stands here.
Grace Mitchell, the woman who chose suffering over survival. Let me show everyone what her noble refusal actually looked like. Your daughter was 7 years old when you made that decision for her. 7. Did you ask her? Did she get a choice? You wrapped your theology around a child who couldn't fully understand and dragged her into hunger, into cold, into a life no parent should choose for their child. You had opportunities. People offered you ways out. Ways to stay registered without fully committing. Ways to bend just enough to keep Lily fed and warm. And you refused every single one. You called it faith, but look at your daughters. Face the nights she cried for food, and you had nothing to give her. Is that what faith looks like? Watching your child suffer for a conviction she didn't fully choose? You died and left her alone in this world. Alone. Without a mother. Without resources. Without a system that would protect her because of the choice you made. You call that obedience? God calls that love? Or was it just stubbornness wearing the mask of holiness?
You want to talk about Lily? Every night I held that child and told her who she was. A daughter of the Most High God. Not a number. Not a product. Not property of any system built by human hands. I told her the truth about this world when every comfort was designed to keep people from hearing it. Was it hard? Yes. Did she cry? Yes. Did I cry? more than you will ever know. But I was not going to hand my daughter a life that looked comfortable on the outside and was empty on the inside. I was not going to teach her that when following God gets expensive, you find a cheaper version of faith. Revelation 14 verse 9 through 10. If anyone worships the beast and receives his mark, they will drink the wine of God's fury. I read that. I believed it, not because I wanted to suffer, but because I loved my daughter too much to trade her eternity for her temporary comfort. I made a hard choice so she would know that some things are worth more than survival. That's not stubbornness. That's the most real love I had to give.
Grace, you stood in that line and you heard my voice and you obeyed it. When the world offered you everything, you chose me. When it cost you comfort, you chose me. When it cost you safety, you chose me. When it cost you your very life, you still chose me. Revelation 12 verse 11. They overcame by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they did not love their lives so much as to shrink from death. You did not shrink. And your daughter, the child you raised in hunger and in truth, she is standing firm right now in a world that is trying to break her, and she is holding because of what you built in her. The nights you prayed over her were not lost. Every word you spoke into her is still alive. I heard every prayer. I counted every tear. Not one was wasted. You asked me in those dark nights why I didn't make it easier. I want you to know the answer now, because easy would not have made you unshakable. Easy would not have shown, Lily, what real faith looks like when everything is stripped away. Easy would not have made your testimony the thing that will carry her through what is still coming. You thought you failed her. You were building her. Well done, my faithful servant. Enter into what was always prepared for you before the foundation of the world. This was always yours.
You are watching this right now for a reason. The mark is not here yet, but the spirit of compromise is already at your door. It comes dressed as convenience, as survival, as common sense, as everyone else is doing it, as God will understand. It asks you every single day to trade a little of your conviction for a little more comfort, and most people are already saying yes to the smaller versions of that trade. Yes to the lie when the truth is costly. Yes to silence when speaking up has a price. Yes to blending in when standing out means losing something. Revelation 3 verse 11. Hold on to what you have so that no one will take your crown. The question is not only what will you do when the mark comes. The question is what are you doing right now with the small tests that are shaping your answer for that day. Grace passed the final test because she practiced faithfulness in the daily ones. Will you? If this reached something deep in you, type I will hold on in the comments. Share this with someone who needs to be strengthened today. Like if Grace's story showed you what real faith costs and what it earns. Subscribe, because these are the conversations that matter most right now. She refused a mark and lost the world. She gained what the world could never offer. That is not a tragedy. That is the whole point of faith.